Uzodinma blames INEC's faulty server for Tinubu'S certificate saga. Governor Uzodinma has blamed INEC's non-functional server and poor public record keeping for the controversy surrounding the educational certificate of All Progressives Congress APC presidential candidate Bola Tinubu. Speaking to journalists at the State House after meeting with the President Muhammadu Buhari on Tuesday, Mr. Uzodinma said there should be no controversy on Mr. Tinubu's certificate where public record keeping was efficient and INEC's server was functional. All the things mentioned are entire party challenges that will be resolved, but for my presidential candidate, the issue of certificates shouldn't even arise. In 1999, he contested elections and became the governor of Lagos. In 2003, he contested election for a second term and became the governor of Lagos. He ran and won as a senator in the country where record keeping efficient and INEC server functional. Tinubu wouldn't need to do fresh submission of the documents. However, if what he is supposed to submit is not handy, it is not late yet. I'm sure before the time he will submit whatever is required of him. Mr. Tinubu, in an affidavit submitted to the electoral body as part of his eligibility filings for the 2023 presidential elections, disclosed to the Independent National Electoral Commission that he did not attend primary and secondary schools. So it's a different thing. So this is just contradictory because the fact is he claimed he did not attend, or he said he did not attend primary and secondary school. So the argument that it was missing or the records were not kept doesn't make sense, because if there are no records, what is meant to be kept? I don't understand. This story is so confusing, and Mr. Uzodinma has come to add to it. And then it's like, say you're guilty without saying you're guilty. Mr. Uzodinma said, however, if whatever he's supposed to submit is not handy, it is not late yet. I'm sure before the time he will submit whatever is required of him. Imagine. So it's a thing where it's like, say you're guilty without saying you're guilty. Why are you giving a solution if you are going to be very offended and for the fact that your records were not kept by INEC, then you should stand your ground and be like, you know what, INEC, I'm holding you responsible. But you're not doing that. You're trying to evade the situation. Is it the same INEC that has an official rule where if its servers do not work when votes are being counted, then it doesn't count? Because INEC server has been an issue for I don't know how long. INEC always has that server. Why is it that it must be INEC server? What is wrong with that server? When it comes to votes, something will happen. When it comes to record keeping, something will happen. Everything that has to do with evidence, validity, substance, tangibility is just never there with INEC. So how do we trust that this body is one that we can rely upon for anything, literally for anything? And especially when it comes to elections and deciding the fate of the country. Are you serious? Record keeping and all that comes with it? It is very shameful indeed. Very, very shameful. So yeah, I don't know there's just so many stories. Apparently he was on exile from 1994 to 1999, and that's why there's just so many stories out there. It's sad. Well, Irikane's Victor Chibike says, you all should stop talking. Go get your PVCs, sensitize those in your area, and tell them about your preferred candidate. Telling people about your preferred candidate, you have to have a healthy conversation where you actually come with your facts and your points. And the frustrating thing it may be for whoever is trying to convince who is everyone's reasons are valid. Your reasons may be based on this person's actions, character, and someone's reasons could literally be based on the fact that their presidential candidate is from where they're from, or the presidential candidate is a Christian or a Muslim, or the presidential candidate said this one thing this one time that really resonated with them, and so they never looked back. Again, whatever people's reasons are, I think that is where a lot of conflict will come from. But, you say what you want in a respectful way, say who you're supporting, and hopefully, if you want anyone to join you, that would be the case. However, for those that would get frustrated, because again, everyone cannot agree on the same thing. As much as Tinubu would have fans or haters, he also has fans. And as much as Peter B seems like the favorite, there are also people speaking against him. So, what can you say? Sometimes I wonder if this man is normal from what he says. He just speaks without reasoning and comprehension. That's what you think. These people are intelligent. They have the exposure of the world. They have everything. They just choose not to. They get into that space and something changes. But I think it's like we can't just pretend or give them the benefit of the doubt that, you know what, they don't know what they're doing. They're just corrupt. They are very intentional about how corrupt they want to be. So if that is their choosing, what can you do? What can you do? Well, what you can do is decide of how you're going to put them or who you put in office and if they align with you. If your alignment with a politician has to do with where you're from, you will suffer. If your alignment with a politician has to do with the fact of their religion or identity, you're going to suffer, because really and truly, it's not about identity. Nigeria is already diverse enough. Identity should be the least of our problems. However, it is the top of our problems. Very, very sad. Wow. Don't worry. Before your time of election will come by, then APC will no longer be at the center. Then you will run to the God of chosen program title, Let My Enemies Submit. Oh, wow. Your own stupidity is nothing to write home about. Faulty server. You, this nonsense Nigerian should wise up. This is what they did in 2015 and we are in a mess already, as if Inec'S server swallowed certificate of some politicians don't really have sense at all. Again, this server is a problem. And I think, do you know what? Let's have a whole new conversation. Let everybody invest in a new server, because I don't understand. I really don't. At this point, we'll literally say, I think with government, I think one thing is we should be able to change rules for ourselves, because we're the people. The power lies in the people. We're the ones who decide. Again, so democracy thing, you can argue it's not from us. It's not. You can argue that, but whatever they choose, whatever the people choose, the method or the way they want to be led, that is their way, and we should be able to decide what it is that we want for ourselves. Not just we wake up, we are in this land, we happen to be Nigerians, so whoever decided that roads will not be fixed, we now have to suffer just because. We also have capacity to change, and we should do that. Put what you think in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.